Hi VOD people. I don't really know if I'm even going to post this, but we just finished the Dottie tier list. We have some time to kill. I was throwing out the idea of maybe rearranging my top 50 games list with the help of the chat. We could put Putt in the Finny fundraiser. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, you can complain about my picks. You can try to sell me on something being too high or too low. For the record, my list is my favorites, not what I think is the best. I always talk about that. Like, I'm going to have like Spyro 3 above Spyro 1, even though I think Spyro 1 is probably the better game. I have more fun with 3. It's my favorite. I just like it more. So I do have my list written down on a Google Doc, and I wanted to turn it into a backlogged list and also rearrange and update it because it's been quite a few years since I've really made a substantial overhaul, and a lot of stuff has just fallen out of favor with me. A lot of stuff has fallen into favor with me. So I want to reorganize here. If I could just find my fucking written list, that would be great. I think it's called Fave Games. Yeah. Bye, T-Mac. Thanks for hanging as well. Alright, so obviously Kingdom Hearts 1 is number 1. And then next, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Everyone's always asking in the comments on YouTube videos or in tweets, where's Pat's top 10? Here it is. I've definitely said it in, like, patron content before. But now it's for everybody, because everyone was just fucking waiting with bated breath. Fallout New Vegas, number 4. Spyro Year of the Dragon, number 3. Paper Mario, here's the interesting thing. So, Thousand Year Door is my number 5. Sorry, number 6. May have had the numbers wrong there earlier. But I feel like I just put the remake in its place now. There's really no reason to have 2004 T2ID in that spot. Like, yes, the text scrolls slower, and yes, there are, like, dialogue changes, some for the better, some for the worse, but mostly for the better, I think. Yeah, I think it was better. So I think, like, you just replace this, and you don't even have old T2ID. I did finish it. I 100%ed it, actually. I did not punk it. I feel like they took out anything having to do with, like... Well, it's weird because they kind of, like, kept in, or rather, like, restored the Vivian stuff, because back in 2004, it was, like, this whole controversy. I remember reading about it on GameFAQs, and I was, like, too young to even understand what it really meant, but it was, like, Vivian was trans, and everyone was, like, arguing over whether or not that was true in the English version. And I didn't really get what it even meant at the time, because I was like 8, but they restored all of that for the new version, but they did take out... Oh, here we go. So instead of it being a joke at the expense of Luigi in a dress, it's a joke about how Luigi has to be careful when he's in stilettos. Is this like one of the partner stories that they tell? I got a red Yoshi. I was gonna get a white one and name it Presto, because that was like the closest thing to like a platinum color, but I settled on red. I still named him Presto. But yeah, more content, quality of life stuff. I remember the Goombas in the original, in the sewer, they catcall Goombella, and they changed it to being, like, upset that Mario was on their turf. Which, like, I get why they changed it, but also, like, Mario and Goombella beat the shit out of the Goombas after, so it's like... I feel like it was a good lesson. Don't catcall. Alright, anyway, enough of T2ID. KH3 is at my number 3 spot. Do I like KH3 more than Thousand Year Door? I don't think so. I like both of them a lot. Pokemon Emerald is my number 8. Purely on nostalgia, probably. I feel like, you know, a Pokemon game. I feel like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, Black and White, they're probably better games, but I don't like them as much as Emerald, so... you can't believe KH2 is below 3? Believe it, it's number 9. And honestly, it's hanging on by a fucking thread. Because the more and more I get to play this game, the more I have to pick out about it. I think KH2 is at number 9 still, solely fueled by the experience I had with it in 2006. I think it's doing it's so much goodwill for the game. But when I play it and analyze it under this modern 20-something-year-old lens, I'm finding more and more about it I don't love. But it still belongs in my top 10. It's still it's still a huge game for me. Like it didn't introduce the organization, but like, you know, it really it gave a name, like a full name to them. It really advanced the plot in such a huge way. It deepened the world. It expanded the world. I'm not going to knock all of the good things that KH2 did, but in terms of the vibes, dog shit compared to 1, and not as good as 3. That's just my opinion. It's not best. It's favorite. Even though I do think as a game there are significant flaws with 2 when compared to 1 and 3. Okay. Undertale is my number 10, and that rose up slowly over the years. I've really only played it once/twice, depending on your definition of an Undertale playthrough. But it hit home for me. I thought it was so good. I know it's got like some cringe attached to it, but I just think divorced from all of that, it belongs here. So there's that. Now here at number 11 used to be Pikmin 2, but I think Pikmin 4 is just better, and so I've replaced 2 with 4, but I don't think Pikmin 2 is just out of the top 50. Pikmin 2 is still my second favorite Pikmin. It's still got its own vibe. It's much harder than Pikmin 4, which isn't necessarily a good, a better or worse thing, but you might be more in the mood for some more challenge that a Pikmin 2 might provide. And Pikmin 2 can be kind of bullshit in some spots, but it's like the kind of bullshit where I'm like laughing with the game, and I don't feel like the game is laughing at me for like taking my Pikmin somewhere where a bomb falls or they get blown off into an abyss. Like, I like how dangerous some of those caves can feel. So that feels pretty locked in. And, you know, what I just said about the cringe attached to it, but, like, Minecraft is so fucking big for me. I spent so much time in Minecraft. I played it this year. I was doing challenge maps in Minecraft, like, a couple of months ago. It's still so evergreen to me. I know, like, some people are like, oh, there's too much now, like, the direction it took, like, there's all this, you know, bullshit in it, and, like, it used to be so simple and so elegant in that simplicity, but, like, you can, if you want to do that, you can, the fucking launcher lets you downgrade it to old versions. You can still play old Minecraft. So what are you bitching about? That's what I did for those challenge maps. I downgraded it to older versions so it still worked with everything, and it was the right amount of challenge, and it was just, like, I mean, and the thing about Minecraft is, like, as a single-player experience, it's probably not cracking my top 50, but as, like, a communal thing, like, I spent so much time with friends that I met on the internet playing Minecraft, and, like, even still, like, there's still the wonderment of a playthrough on your own, which I have a lot of nostalgia for that. So I think that's an easy 12 placement. I don't think it's going to go any higher or lower. I couldn't see a case for putting it above even these two, but probably not. Next up is Breath of the Wild. Is that high? I mean, it's good. Apparently I have to type in, oh, there we go, Breath of the Wild. Should I just type them all in and then rearrange? Like, I feel like I'm giving a speech about all of these. I don't need to do that. I feel like Breath of the Wild is some people's favorite game ever, and it's in a lot of people's top 5 or top 10. It's at number 13 for me right now. Here's the thing about Tears, that I never beat it, so I don't feel like I should place it at all. I feel like from what I played of Tears, I do like it more than Breath of the Wild. Do I like it this much? It feels pretty... I'm kind of surprised to see it up here at 13. It is special, though. I feel like maybe I'm underselling how special it is. The environmental storytelling of some of, like, the moments that you experience in Breath of the Wild, like, just seeing... The first time seeing one of those fucking dragons flying in the sky, and just, like, not knowing, like, where it was going or what it was, or if you could reach it, like, it was so magical. But yeah, that's the thing about... I think that's why I feel weird about it here, is because, like, it is kind of made to feel obsolete by Tears, but I haven't beaten Tears yet. I don't feel like it's right to put it on the list, so... Tears of the Kingdom felt stressful. I never felt really stressed when I played it, but... again, I never beat it, so what do I know? Alright, next up, 14, Spyro 1. Such a fucking masterclass in platforming collectathon shit. Is this already over? Yeah, Pajama Sam 2 OST is over, so we're moving back to PJ Sam 1 OST. Sam's Room. I cannot say enough good things about Spyro 1. The only reason I have 3 above it is because I have slightly more nostalgia for it. I like the characters that they added. I love Sergeant Byrd. And I just like the more varied environments in 3 a lot. Like, 1 is very cohesive. Its world spaces feel connected. But it's also like a very lonely game, and I do like that. It's not a bad thing, but I think I tended to like the more sort of lively worlds in 3. But I do think 1 is like a better game, so it's tough. Honestly, take it or leave it. Remake or original, like, I've played both within the past 2-3 years. They're both great. I don't hate the Reignited. I think, a lot of levels get a facelift, more personality, better designs for some of the characters. Like, I think, like, Sergeant Byrd is just given a complete upgrade in Reignited. I think he looks so much better. Alright, and then at 15 I have Pikmin 2, which could drop. Like, maybe it's redundant to have 2 Pikmins this high up at number, 11 and 15. But Pikmin 2 is the one I grew up with. I grew up with 1 and 2, but 2 is just... I don't know if it's a tighter experience than 1. 1 is, like, very compact and, but it also felt like a rush to me, and I didn't like that. I didn't like feeling rushed and having the deadline in 1. But they're both really good. 16, here's where it gets interesting. Persona 5 Royal. And I really have to contend with this, because I still don't know if I like Persona 4 or 5 more. I think it could just be because I have the most distance between me and 5 that I'm even having this conversation. But it just depends on what we're looking at with the games. Like, as a full package, 5 is probably better than 4. And 3 is in this conversation in some aspects, but I don't think I'm going to put it above 4 or 5. But there are certain things about 3 that I like more. But 5 was my first Persona, and I don't know, like, I know some people say the story is simple and it's not that deep, but, like, it really resonated with me. I just thought it was fun and satisfying to do what you do in 5, and the vibes are great, yeah. And I think I overall preferred the vibes in 4 over 3, and there's a big fucking bug on my wall, and I'm sorry, but it's gotta die. Okay. That was terrifying, and I'm very brave. Anyway. So this is a tenuous placement for 5. It was murder, I apologize. But, like, as soon as I was done playing that game, I was like, this is obviously in the top half of my favorite games of all time. So, I don't know. Because 4 is nowhere on this list yet, and it's got to be on the list. So, we have to figure that out. After that, I have Super Mario Sunshine, which did take a bit of a hit after I streamed it in the summer of 21. I did notice some warts with the game. Really only if you're going for, like, the optional stuff. If you're just playing the game from start to finish in terms of, end credits, I think it's pretty solid. I still think, even compared to Odyssey, like, the world building of Mario Sunshine, and I know, like, you're probably not playing a Mario game for world building or a sense of, like, environmental cohesion, but I just love how everything in Isle Delfino feels connected and, like, part of a working environment. Like, things have impact on each other. You can see levels from other levels, and, like, there are, like, different races here, and, like, they have, like, culture. Like, it's just fucking cool. So I don't know. I just think the GameCube era for Nintendo is their peak creativity. They were really not afraid to take risks and do some zany stuff. Like, Galaxy is a great game. It's not going to be on my top 50. I've played it maybe twice all the way through, and it's good, but it's just not doing anything for me in the way that Sunshine does. And Odyssey is on this list, because I think it kind of melds what I liked about Galaxy and Sunshine. It definitely leans more Galaxy, but it's also a good bit further down the list. Like, is Odyssey a better game than Sunshine? Absolutely. I don't like it nearly as much as Sunshine, though, if that makes sense. Alright, surprisingly at 18 we have Grand Theft Auto 4, which was my first Grand Theft Auto, although I've really only played 2 of them. I own 3 in Vice City, I think, and I've never played them. I actually own 1 and 2. but I love the grittier aspect to 4, and as opposed to like the zanier vibes of 5 and San Andreas. I know a lot of people like GTA for those vibes, but I was not. Those weren't the first ones I played, so I was more so brought up on this one, and I loved going bowling with Roman. I would always say yes until like the end game, depending on the path you take. Otherwise, you might not have a Roman calling you to go bowling. That feels pretty high for GTA 4. In fact, it definitely is, because Pac-Man World is next, and that game is not only more fun, but means more to me. So that's going above GTA 4. This is my first video game, Pac-Man World. And it was... I like grew up with the sense that like Pac-Man was like a mascot on par with your Marios and Sonics, or even your Spyros or Crashes, when he so very wasn't. No one really at my age cared about Pac-Man, but I did, because he was my first video game. And I'm wondering if he should be above Mario Sunshine. Probably no. Like, this probably has better game design than Sunshine. I feel like these levels are more fair and fun. And Pac-Man World 2 is everyone's favorites, which might be on my list. No, I don't think it is. It's good, but it's not great to me. I don't know if I can really bear to put it above Sunshine. I'm gonna leave it there. Next, Uncharted 2. Still my favorite Uncharted. Probably not the best. It got Game of the Year 2009. But like, I really only played it the Christmas that I got it. It was like the Christmas of 2009 or 2010. And I really liked it. It was really fun. Just complete dopamine the whole time. Really fun climbing and shooting mechanics, and just generally a fun cast of characters. Pretty simple story and premise, but like, it's just like an action movie, as a game. I think that's pretty much the premise of Uncharted. Uncharted 4 is also on here, but it's quite a bit lower. That feels okay for now, but I'm not sold on it staying there. Next is Ape Escape 2. My favorite of the Ape Escapes, and that feels low. I feel like Ape Escape 2 probably invokes more joy from me than GTA 4 or Uncharted 2. That could just be by its demeanor and its just general lighthearted personality. It's very colorful. It's not gritty, and they're not dropping fuck bombs when you're catching the apes that have escaped. I feel like, did it inform more about what I think about video games than those other two games? Probably. It's got great level design, great mechanics, zany controls, but like really work once you get the hang of them. I spent more time playing GTA 4, but I did play a lot of Ape Escape 2 as a kid. I think it should go above Uncharted 2. It's so fun. If you haven't played Ape Escape, I don't know, I think you can get it on PS5 digitally, maybe. Definitely on 4. You can just jump in with 2. I think it's the best one. The first one is going to be everyone's favorite. I think there are definitely components to it that are better. I think the music is probably overall stronger. It has like a grittier, sort of mysterious vibe to it. But I do think 2 is just the most fun to play. 3 is also really fun as well. 3 actually has drive forms before Kingdom Hearts 2 did, so pretty cool. Next up, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which I've kind of had changing opinions on the Assassin's Creed games. I haven't played one in a long time, but Brotherhood was always my favorite of the Ezio trilogy. But nowadays, when I think about it, like, I think AC1 is like low-key overrated, or no, sorry, underrated. AC1 at the time was really impressive, but then 2 comes out and everyone looked at AC1 like it was kind of like this piece of shit. It had a very repetitive gameplay loop, but like, it just felt like it wasn't dealing with like these really obvious black and whites in the way that the newer Assassin's Creeds do. Like, I felt like there actually was some sort of like ideological battle there beyond like Assassin's good, Templar's bad. But was it more fun to play than 2 or Brotherhood? I don't think so. I do love Ezio as a character. He's more fun to follow than Altair was, or any of the other Assassin's Creed protagonists that followed. Um, I just love the story of Ezio. Just like a good old-fashioned revenge quest, which is really what 2 more so deals with, but Brotherhood follows up on that. I love the Assassin's Guild. But my memories of this game are a bit hazy. I definitely sunk a lot of time into it also in 2000... Was this 2010? I think it was. So right around Uncharted 2 times. But I don't know if I really came back to it in the way that I've come back to these other games. You know, like, I've come back to Ape Escape 2 again. I've never really done a full playthrough of Brotherhood again. I've returned to Sunshine. I've returned to Pac-Man World. I have returned to GTA 4, and definitely all of these games up here, except for Undertale. I guess I've kind of done, like, reruns of it for the other endings, but that was also, like, around the same time where I initially played it, so I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, should replay value or my personal desire to return to the game factor in here? I'm asking you, but it really doesn't matter because it's about what I think. I don't know. Sometimes the experience the first time is so good and you don't need to go back. So, I'm not sure. It was the first game was on my scariest moments list. The ending of 1 with the blood on the walls fucked me right the hell up as a kid. Alright, next up, we have Birth by Sleep. Probably too high. I feel like this is not cracking most people's top 200 games, let alone number 23. I like Birth by Sleep. It's definitely going to stay in the top 50. But do I organically want to return to it a ton? Not really. I do crave it sometimes, but obviously not as much as the main 3. And honestly, maybe not even as much as, like, a Chain of Memories. Like, I feel like sometimes I've been in a Chain of Memories mood more often since starting the channel than a Birth by Sleep mood. Is Birth by Sleep more fun to play? Yeah, probably. I probably enjoy the story of Calm way more. Like, the character work happening in Calm, I think, is overall better than BBS. But this is still, like, a very magical game to me. I have a lot of fond memories also in 2010 playing this game. I'm going to leave it there for now, but I feel like it's going to move. Next up is Life is Strange, the OG. Question is, will True Colors make it onto my top 50? It's good. I don't like it as much as the first one. I feel like Life is Strange might be more important to me than Birth by Sleep, and maybe even Brotherhood. And maybe even Uncharted 2. It's a really beautiful game. It's goofy and dorky, and it's not the most well-written at times, but, like, it was so lovely to go through the first time. Like, I was sitting right here. I remember playing it. It was, like, the fall of my freshman year of college. I was just coming out of, like, a bad breakup in that summer, and this game was just, like, such a comfy blanket for me when I really needed it. So I feel like there's some emotional sentiment tying in there. I would like to stream it at some point before October when the third one comes, or the whatever you call it, the what is it called? Double exposure, I think. So the vibes are so good. Like, they're immaculate vibes. Some weird writing and dialogue choices, but, like, I do think it's had more of an impact on me than these 3 games here. So I think I'm going to move it up. Ape Escape 2, I'd rather come back to and play. This is more of a one and done. I think it'd be fun to, like, have the chat make my decisions. Next Monday I will not be streaming, but I will be streaming on next Tuesday. No, wait, I might not be because of Survivor. I have to run Survivor on Tuesday the 25th. It's going to be a bit of a wonky schedule. Probably all summer, to be honest, between the vacation and moving. But I will keep you all posted as it becomes relevant. Alright. Next up is The Last of Us. The Last of Us is something I've played through twice, I think. And it's going to be in a lot of people's top 5, top 10, top 1. It's good. I feel like it's got a bit of stank on it for me now. just based on the creator and just The Last of Us Part 2 being... I mean, I'm not going to let the sequel impact, and I'll try not to let the creator impact, like, the generally solid experience of this game. Should be higher. I don't know. For me, it's like... it's such a generic pick to be so high up. Like, it's like the Citizen Kane of games, you know? Oh yeah, separate the artist. I could be wrong. I feel like the creator of The Last of Us is like a weird Zionist guy. Like he's like kind of problematic. I don't know a ton about him, but I feel like I keep seeing some pretty icky shit about him. But as a game, it's really good. The moral question raised at the end as like the last wham punch is so solid. It's one of like my most memorable game endings that I can think of. I don't know. It's good. But that's all it really is to me, I guess. Like, it doesn't have like the je ne sais quoi, if you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't... I need some spice, some zaniness, just some added element. I'm not saying like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or GTA 4 or even Birth by Sleep are like brimming with zaniness and spice and like something that really sets them apart, but more so than I feel like The Last of Us does. The Last of Us is like, hey, we asked an AI, or we like built this perfect algorithm to create a solid video game, and that this is what came out. Like, it's good. It's got a solid story, good characters, the gameplay is fun. It's just like not... And again, I'm not saying it's a bad game, it's my number 25 here, but it is just kind of like there for me. I also feel like it suffers from the same problem I have with Uncharted, is that they both feel so conceptually uncreative, generic, and safe. I will fully agree. Uncharted as a series, like I said, basically a playable action movie. But I tend to have more fun playing Uncharted than The Last of Us. It might be dumb popcorn fun, but it is fun. So yeah. Like, I have no real memories of playing The Last of Us. Like, I know I played it. I'm pretty sure I played it twice. But I don't have memories of it. I have memories associated with all these games. This was just like... I played it, and that was it. I don't know. I might even drop it further. Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc is my next entry. And I'm highly inclined to put it... In no universe would I suggest that this is a better, more well-constructed, or prestigious game than The Last of Us. But I've returned to it way more. I like it more. I like its soundtrack. I like its gameplay, its environments, its vibe, its humor. I like it more than Birth by Sleep. It's my list. I've streamed it. I've played it again after I streamed it. I love this game. The daddies are over. We've deleted daddies. They're done. I mean, they're here if you want to see the final list. But that's yesterday's news. Rayman 3, should you be above Brotherhood? Yeah, you should. And this. And I feel good about that now. No, I got to. I got to justify it. Otherwise, I need to verbalize my thoughts about it. Okay. GTA 5 is next. Let's see. Grand Theft Auto 5. More fun to play than 4, but I was not nearly as gripped by the story. Not to say that 4 has, like, this super intelligent, deep story, but I mean, in 2008, when I was, in 6th or 7th grade, it felt that way. The characters felt deep to me. In reality, the characters in 5 are probably more fleshed out and deeper, but I just didn't feel like there was that much gravity to anything happening. And, like, who's playing a GTA game for the story? I guess me, to an extent. It's obviously more fun to fuck around in, where is 5 set? The fake Los Angeles? I can't remember the name of it. Than Liberty City. It's overall a prettier game. I kind of almost prefer the weirder physics in 4. But I still can't really justify putting 5 above it. Just because Again, I have more memories with this game. It might be nostalgia talking, but I don't think it really makes sense to move it up. Um, but I will put it above The Last of Us. I think that feels right to me. That just feels more correct to me at this point in time than it did when I initially made the list. Next up is Wind Waker, which used to be my favorite Zelda. It's my favorite traditional Zelda. Also my first Zelda. I got into it because of Smash Bros. Melee, and I was like, well, Zelda's such a big part of all of this. I should probably check out whatever Zelda game is on the GameCube. At the time, that was Wind Waker. This was pre-Twilight Princess. I was so enamored with the concept of Zelda's, or Wind Waker's, open world-esque approach, in that it had the Great Sea. I know, like, Majora's Mask and Ocarina also had that to an extent with, like, Hyrule Field. But, the ocean was obviously so much bigger. Also, like, much emptier, and not a ton to do in the ocean, but, like, each quadrant had something going on. I just loved the feeling. It was the first kind of, like, pirate-type game, or, like, ocean sailing game. Like, AC4 is going to show up not too far from here, and that's, like, the definitive pirate game for me. But this was, like, my sort of exposure to that as a child, and I really liked it and was enamored with it. Dragon Roost Island, I have so many memories getting through that dungeon, and just the music in this game is so pleasant. Last of Us keeps moving down. It's good. It's still really good. It's just, that's all it is to me, is good. Okay, next we have Super Mario Odyssey. I've only played through it once, but I knew it was special as I was playing it. Again, I kind of already talked about it when I talked about Sunshine. It takes, like, the good parts of both Sunshine and Galaxy and meshes them together. Doesn't quite succeed or exceed Sunshine for me in terms of the world building, because it is just kind of like your typical disconnected Mario spaces, like, very charming, brimming with personality, but I just really like when things feel like this cohesive space, and obviously Galaxy and Odyssey don't do that, but, like, great fun, just fucking 10 out of 10 platforming bullshit. I should replay it. In fact, I kind of started one and abandoned it not too long ago. Also feeling like this belongs above The Last of Us. And, you know, as much as I like Wind Waker, probably above that as well. GTA 5. Yes, also that. Birth by Sleep. No, I think Birth by Sleep means more to me. Okay, moving on. Stardew Valley. Oh, I love Stardew Valley. It is so fucking comfy. I've spent so much time on this game. I remember a lot of times in college when I should have been writing an assignment or really going out and being social. A lot of time on Stardew Valley. Definitely above The Last of Us, and Wind Waker, and GTA 5, and Mario Odyssey, and Birth by Sleep, and Brotherhood, and Uncharted 2. Huge surge for Stardew Valley. I love it. Because I have way more fun playing that and more memories than I do with The Last of Us and any of these other games beneath it. So, next up. I was so high on The Last of Us. I cannot believe I had it at 25. Okay, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Actually, ironically, I do think I'm not going to move this above The Last of Us. Uncharted 4 is great. Gameplay-wise, it's probably the best in the series. It is the most recent, unless they did some, like, side Uncharted game after that. But, you know, of the main Uncharteds, we have a good wrap-up to the story. God, I don't like the cover to this at all. It's so generic. I feel like that just feeds into Barnabas's point, which is that Uncharted is kind of cookie cutter in terms of the premise. But I remember really liking the relationship between Nate and Sam. The villain was kind of bad. Rafe, right? What's up, Sora Netta? I've tried to play The Last of Us thrice, and every time I just couldn't be ours to finish it. Yeah, you really have to be in the space for it. Nate and Elena, They're cute. I was personally more of a Nate and Chloe guy in Uncharted 2, but Nate and Elena, you know, their end game, I suppose. Uncharted 4, yeah, I do think it's the best written. I just feel like the set pieces in 2, I remember having more, like, look at this fucking set piece. It opens en media res with Nathan Drake climbing up a fucking train, dangling off a mountain. Like, that's what these games are about. Honestly, like, I don't really remember physically that much about Uncharted 4. I remember playing Crash Bandicoot. I remember, like, some open world-esque areas with, like, a Jeep. I remember the final boss. I do think it belongs below The Last of Us, unfortunately. Because The Last of Us is the villain of this stream. So... Okay, next up is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I can pretty confidently say that's going to be going above the bottom 2 entries so far. It's my... Oh, crunch a bunch of crunches. We good? Spyro 2 did not enter. Are you here? No, you're not. Spyro 2, come on in. So it's my least favorite of the Spyros. I know it's a lot of people's number 1 Spyro game. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just don't have as much fun with its environments. I like the additional characters in 3 over Hunter and Alora and the Professor, which Hunter and Professor, you know, make a decent-ish appearance in 3. Mostly Hunter. I think above Wind Waker. I mean, I've gone back and played all the Spyros so many times, and 2 is not an exception, even though it is my lowest one. The best structured Spyro game, there's an argument there, I think. I lean towards 1, personally, for the best structured. I think the level design of 1 is so elegant. I'm not as impressed with how 2's levels are laid out. God, Ripto looks so stupid in the background here. This must be like a beta version of... did I say Riku? I said Ripto, right? I almost said Riku the second time. Riku looks different. Spyro 2, above GTA 5? Yeah. But not Odyssey, I don't think. Okay, I said Ripto, good. Alright, moving on to Fallout 3? Fallout 3 is not even the fart of Fallout New Vegas, but I spent so much time on it. It's not nearly as thoughtful of a game as New Vegas, but it's fun, you know? It's not a bad game. It's just not elegant in the way that New Vegas is. Very boring cover art compared to New Vegas. Even compared to Uncharted 4. Like, this, it really does give you nothing. I might be having... I've played Fallout 3, a substantial amount of it, in the past year. Like, I've gone back. It's still fun. But it always feels kind of hollow after having played New Vegas. I think pre-New Vegas, this had a case to be in my top 20. Right now, it's sitting at 34. I do think it's good, but it's not great. I'm gonna put it above Uncharted 4 because I have so many memories with this game. Whereas I don't really with Uncharted 4. This is definitely a better designed game, but this one's more fun. I never played Hollow Knight. Sorry. Alright, next up, Metal Gear Solid 2? Oh no, I missed Metal Gear Solid 3. I was gonna say, that's confusing. Metal Gear Solid 3 was supposed to be at number 27, right beneath where Rayman 3 originally was. This is the most fun Metal Gear Solid to play, which is why it's the highest Metal Gear. I like Metal Gear as, like, a quadrilogy more than I like any of the individual games, I think. I know it's 5 games, but I never played the 5th one substantially. Metal Gear Solid 3, definitely above all of these. I only played it once, and I played it 10 years ago. But it was so good. Am I overblowing how good it was? I feel like it was really, really good. Soranetta, thank you for the follow. So, it's gotta go... It was already above Wind Waker and GTA 5, and that feels right to me. But I do think Spyro 2 does belong above it for me. So I'm going to keep it there. Okay. Next was Metal Gear Solid 2, which I do think is the more and the most thoughtful of the Metal Gear Solid games. But not as fun to play as 3, and maybe not even as 1. 1 can be kind of dated with some of its gameplay choices, but this game's so smart. It's so fucking smart. I have so much respect for it. It's going up there. It means more to me than all of these. I had more fun playing Fallout 3, but this one stuck with me. The ending to this game had me fucked up. Great cover art as well. Unfortunately, I don't own it physically. I own the Legacy Collection on PS3 and the Master Collection on 5, which does not have this awesome cover art. Which, looking at it, if you're like not someone who plays like more realistic looking games, you might look at this and think this is like a dude bro game about guns and, you know, sneaking around. Which it is about guns and sneaking around, but it's not about that. It has those things in it. It's a very intelligent game. It's very smart. I always stream till 9. I don't know why people are surprised. I mean, I'm going to go later here because now I've committed to this additional project, but I might put it right below 3, actually. That feels good. Okay. Next is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I feel like is too low. I feel like this is, you know, Melee's my favorite. It's at number 2, but there's so much going on in Ultimate. It's such an achievement. It has Sora in it now. Going above these, and Wind Waker, and GTA 5. I've spent a lot of time on Ultimate. I'm pretty good at Ultimate. My Zero Suit, I got her into Elite Smash. There's at least that. I'm not, like, tournament good, but I'm online good. That feels right to me. It jumped a good few places. I can't really justify putting it above anything here. Is it a better game than BBS? Yes. Do I like it more than BBS? Probably not. So there's that. Okay. Next. Uncharted. No, Super Paper Mario. Ooh, I love Super Paper Mario. Really, like, I like 3 Paper Mario games, but I love 2 of them. And Super Paper Mario is the second one that I love. I think it got a bad rap because it's not a full RPG, and, you know, if you bought it expecting that, I can see why you'd be upset about it. But this is, like, the only Wii game in my top 50, and it's really not even close for anything else. I guess the next would be Galaxy. 1 or 2? Probably 2. This game's so smart, not in the way that Metal Gear Solid 2 is. It's just very clever. I love the dialogue, the characters. The pixels are a bit underwhelming compared to the party members in the first 2 Paper Marios, but I find the environments really fun. I love the Gloam Valley, the Bitlands, even the Woe Zone in space, the underwear and the over there. They're all so cool. Definitely going above these ones. I was a fool to have it this low. Above GTA 5. That feels good, though. Yeah, and the music is great. I love the Super Paper Mario soundtrack. Alright. We're getting there, folks. Uncharted 3 is next, which, I think the most recent Uncharted games, like the 3 most recent ones, are pretty good games. The first one is really the only one that's, like, not really that good. It feels like overkill to have all 3 of them on the top 50 list. I feel like it's just going to sit here for now at this spot. But it's probably going to move down a lot. I don't remember talking about Uncharted 3. I remember this segment. I remember... Was it Shangri-La in 3, or was that 2? No, Shambhala was 2. I think it's Shangri-La in 3. I remember, like, the whole trippy out sequence, the escape sequence at the end, the whole cargo plane and being in the desert. You meet a guy with a horse. I don't know. It's probably too high. It's going to move down. I think 2 and 4 belong where they're at. I think 3 needs to probably go down a few slots. Like, Persona 4 needs to enter this list at some point, and it's going to be above that. We know this. And above a lot of things at the bottom there. Okay. Now we have Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4. My go-to pirate game. I haven't really returned to Black Flag, but I remember having a blast with it when it came out. But that's all it really was like a fling in the fall of 2013 or 14, whenever it was. It's going to go above Uncharted 3. And above Uncharted 4. And that's it. Yeah, BBS is the last Kingdom Hearts game. If another were to show up, it would probably be Chain of Memories, GBA. And maybe it will. Maybe we'll take a look. I don't know. Oh, I love the sea shanties. It was so, like, it felt so, like, there was no pirate game that I really played. The closest thing I had was Wind Waker until AC4. And I just loved the vibes, you know? Yeah, I'm so sorry, Wind Waker. Alright, next up is Metal Gear Solid OG. Played this again recently on the Master Collection. Holds up really well. Also a very smart game. Very ahead of its time. A little clunky in some spots. I hate to say the C word because people levy at KH1 so often. But, I don't know. I grew up with the PS1 era. There are parts of this game where I'm like, oh man, this really is showing its wrinkles. Definitely above Uncharted 3 and 4 and Black Flag, and Fallout 3 and The Last of Us, and Wind Waker. And I'm gonna leave it there. It's fun, but not really fun. It's like mind-blowing commentary I'm giving. I'm more so into it for the vibes and the characters. Not really the gameplay so much. I feel like if you're gonna remake, like they're remaking MGS 3, remake MGS 1. I mean, remake all of them, but especially 1. It could use it. Alright, next up, this might be a weird one, but Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. Again, going back to, you know, Nintendo in the GameCube era, just doing some weird, wacky shit. I do think Coliseum is, like, the more difficult and the grittier of the games, and I sometimes have more of a hankering to play that one, but I feel like XD is overall a more streamlined experience, some quality of life, like being able to save wherever, getting the Poke spots, more Pokemon, you know, more options. But I just love the general concept of just, let's have a big Pokemon game, like, not a mainline thing where you go to 8 gyms and get badges, but, like, you know, another substantial, same formula of, like, battling stuff and, like, exploring a region, but, like, let's shake things up. Like, there's so much we can do with this concept in this universe, and they just are so limited, I feel like. Especially, you know, at least with Legends Arceus, they're expanding their horizons a bit, but the GameCube, I feel like, was the first time where they really did that to a more serious extent than, like, you know, a Pokemon Snap or you know, a Puzzle League or Pinball. So XD is going above Uncharted 3 and 4. And I really like it, but I don't know if yeah. Alright. Next, Assassin's Creed 2. I did mention it earlier when we were going over Brotherhood. This was, you know, the first Assassin's Creed game that everyone seemed to like. It's the story of Ezio and his revenge plot. More fun to play than AC1. Again, maybe not as deep on the sort of theological side. Not theological, but like philosophical, rather. Above Uncharted 3 and 4. I'm kind of going lower on the Uncharted's, I see, but that feels right to me. Right below AC4, that's going to go. Sorry, I keep getting girded. Alright. Oh, Animal Crossing Wild World. So this is interesting. I love this game. This is the one that Tolly came over to me while I was playing this at my roller skating party. Just taking a break, trading some furniture with my friends, and she yelled at me on my birthday. I played this more than New Horizons, but New Horizons is a better game. But New Horizons also intimidated me with the amount of freedom that I had. Um, I wonder if this one should still stay here, or if I should just replace it with New Horizons. It's going above Uncharted 3. But I think between 4 and 3. I think New Horizons needs a spot here. Maybe. I don't know. We'll think about that. Next, Luigi's Mansion OG. Honestly, it's good, but I don't know if I'm going to move it. I think that's fine. No, above Uncharted 3. But it's good. It's very short, but it made an impression on me as a kid. I love Luigi. I always liked Luigi more than Mario. I feel like most people do, right? So I was just jazzed that he had his own game. I remember my dad letting me rent this from Blockbuster on a Friday night after, like, a day at 3rd grade, maybe. A hard day at 3rd grade, putting in work, learning about ancient Egypt, and running laps in the gym. And I got to play Luigi's Mansion, and I had a big chocolate milkshake from Burger King. One of the best nights of my fucking life. Uncharted 1 is not on my list. I just think, gameplay-wise, it does not hold up compared to the other ones. And also, not really into the characters as much as I am in the later games. I feel like it's just, like, yeah, a little bit of Sully, but mostly Drake and Elena. And I'm just not having that much fun with them there. Alright, next, Infamous 2. Which is my favorite of the Infamous games. And it's good. That's about it. Don't even think I'm going to move it. It's fine. Second Son is good as well. I feel like I liked the vibes of this game more, or the story. I played both of them in pretty quick succession, so I don't know why it's not Second Son up here. I must have just liked 2 more. Sly is not on my list yet. It could be. We'll see. This is just my original top 50 list. I'm making adjustments within the list. I haven't added anything new yet. Next up, Gavaka's favorite is Spore. Spore is a flawed game. I spent a lot of time with it. That feels right for now. I feel like it's probably going to get bumped down lower. Very ambitious game that unfortunately did not get to reach its fullest potential. I still had a lot of fun with it. Still spent a lot of time playing it in middle school. I loved the Galactic Adventures DLC. I spent so many hours making adventures, making creatures. Spore more like Snore. Like, I guess it's like baby's first Civ/Sims type game, you know? So for what it was at the time, it was really good. I like how it makes it look like these are all like characters. Like, they're all just random creatures. There aren't like Galactic Adventures had some like occasionally recurring characters made in the Maxis adventures, but these are all randos. Is it still a good play? I mean, I played the first 2 stages on stream. It was fine. I think it's more so for the appeal of making a fucked up little guy. But yeah. There's like some oddly fun world building in Spore as well, especially with the Galactic Adventures. Like, they tried to make like a little connective universe with everything in Spore. But it's probably mostly nostalgia and just for me, for it being like the first game of its type that I ever played. So, did I say it was my favorite, Girly Bobka? I don't remember saying that. Next up, because as it is right now, it's my 46th favorite game, and that feels too high. Jak and Daxter, the precursor Legacy, did not play this in its heyday when it came out in 2001, or even in the following 10 years. I played this in college on PS3, I think. Or 4, no, I think I bought it on 4. Just solid platforming. I love the vibes. I played Rayman 3 first. This game came out before Rayman 3, but it had very Rayman 3 adjacent vibes. I think it deserves a spot above Spore and Infamous 2 and Uncharted 3. Okay, I tried playing Jak 2. It was very different. Wasn't in the mood for that. Never went back. Ooh, I have Bully at 48. Bully was really fun when it came out, but it's also like baby's first GTA. I did play it before GTA 8. GTA 8. GTA 4 came out in 2008. This came out in 2006. I played this in middle school. Did not have that bad of an influence on me. I guess there was a whole campaign. Wasn't it? What was the name of the guy? It was like, wasn't his name like Jack something? He was like a lawyer guy that had like such a crusade against violent video games, and Bully was like on a shit list. Oh yeah, Jack is also Jack 2 is baby's first GTA. I'm a lot of music again. Whatever. I guess we'll do the Gulag. Yeah, GTA 8. Go figure. Wow, what happened to my Gulag? It used to be so high up on the list when you typed Gulag, and now it's like number 10. Whatever. I guess I must have been using it because it's in the middle of the video. I have never played a Resident Evil game, so it will not be making an appearance. Bully is better than Spore. Bully has not aged great, but it was still fun. I feel like that's where Bully goes. That's it. Next, we're getting to the end of the 50 here. We have, at number 49, the OG Final Fantasy VII. And by OG, I mean I played the Steam release when I was in college. It's good. And that's kind of it for me. For me, OG FF7 is kind of like The Last of Us of JRPGs. Maybe it's like you kind of had to be there. I have no doubt that it's a foundational game, that it's a great game, but for me, the remakes I will probably have above it, and I know that's going to be controversial. Did I have more fun playing Remake than OG7? Yes. Did I have more fun playing Rebirth than both of those? Yes. So, Rebirth, once we add it in, will go above OG7. And then this must be a mistake. I have Detroit Become Human at my number 50. It's fine. It's probably the best David Cage game, but it's a low bar. Not even as memeable as a Heavy Rain. No, listen, it's fine. Again, it's like the definition of like a B- game. Heavy Rain is not on here, but I probably do find it way funnier to play than Detroit. I probably get more joy out of Heavy Rain. But, you're right, it is. Yeah, like Detroit, if you think about it for more than a few minutes, like, it's all kind of dumb. Like, I liked it the first time through. I was not motivated to get the other endings. I don't know. I liked Connor. Marcus and Kara, they're fine. But, like, just, like, the heavy-handed, like, racism, slavery allegory, like, it was just so up its own ass. Like, I don't mind, I think you guys know me, that I'm not somebody who's gonna be, like, keep, you know, social issues and politics woke out of video games, but, like, the way that Detroit handled it was, like, with the finesse of a mallet. It was just kind of sloppy. Yeah, I think Connor is everyone's favorite, right? So, whatever. That's Detroit at 50. It's definitely getting bumped out of the top 50. I don't want to spend too much more time here, but I want to add Persona 4 Golden into this. Is it Persona 4 Gold or it's Golden? Okay. I technically played the 2020 PC release, so I guess we'll put that version here. Okay, so we're rocketing it all the way at least up here. And honestly, at least here. And then the question is, I mean, Persona 5 is all the way up there. I think I just have to let 5 stay there. I think it deserves that spot. First Persona game. Such good game feel to all of it. Obviously, the palaces are superior to the dungeons in 4. I just had more fun playing 5. But just the characters in 4 really connected with me. The story connected with me. Honestly, maybe even the music to an extent. The vibes. I kind of like how it's a bit more of an upbeat and cheerful game, even though it is like a murder mystery. It's gonna stay right there for now. That's what I'm feeling right now. Persona 3 Reload also has to be added for sure, and that's gonna go. I don't feel as good about it. It's definitely above GTA 5. It's above Super Paper Mario. It's really good. It's my least favorite of the main three. And by main, I mean modern. I know Persona 1 and the 2 Persona 2s exist. But I've never played them, and I probably never will unless they get a substantial remake. It's a beautiful game. Crash Bandicoot, my favorite Crash Bandicoot game. I mean, I played 1 and 2. I guess 2 is the better one. No, not going to be in my top 50. I feel good about Persona 3 being there. I don't know if I want it any higher. That's where it's going to go. Alright, FF7 Rebirth. Another 2024 release. Can I just type Rebirth? Will it work? Really? I gotta type the whole thing? Alright. I don't love it as much as any of the Personas. I'll just say that. I liked it a lot. I probably would have liked it a lot more if FF7 was a childhood game of mine. But it wasn't. It'll go above The Last of Us. And Wind Waker. And honestly, that's it for now. I have to think about it longer. I know you're looking at it like, how is it below OG Metal Gear 1 or Super Paper Mario? It just doesn't mean as much to me as those games do. I haven't had as much time with it to marinate. But it was beautiful. It was all expansive. Like, it was just such a huge world. It was overwhelming at times. But I loved the journey. I loved the characters. I hope the third installment is even better. Yeah. And then OG, not OG, but the remake, 7 Remake. I'd probably just bump OG 7 out. I'm sorry. And Spore. And Bully, and Infamous 2, and Uncharted 3, and Jak and Daxter, and I think I'm fine with that. So Detroit go bye-bye, Final Fantasy 7 go bye-bye. Is this 50 now? How many is this right now? No, wait. How many games have I added? I've added 2 Personas, Rebirth, and Remake. I don't know how many I've gotten rid of. I think Spore's gotta go. I'm assuming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, so bye, Bully. Okay. We're almost done, because I don't know how much more I have to add right now off the top of my head. But is there a conversation to be had for Chain of Memories? I think there is. I think Infamous 2 does not mean nearly as much to me as Chain of Memories does. We'll talk about Sly Cooper, yeah, we'll talk about that. I know that it's crazy to anybody. DDD, no. DDD is not even top 100. I could fill in another 50 games and DDD won't sniff it. The Quarry, same situation. I'd put DDD above the Quarry. Calm's not going to be super high. It's probably going to die here. It means more to me than a lot of these games. Is it the most fun to play? No. But I do love the vibes of Calm. So, bye Infamous 2. Legend of Neverland? No, Until Dawn, I don't think there's really a case. I don't think I like Until Dawn more than any of these. Theater Rhythm? There is a case to be made. And I might... Chain of Memories still might get knocked out. Right now, it's at number 49. Theater Rhythm is probably my favorite rhythm game I've ever played. I have more fond memories with something like a Guitar Hero 2 or a DDR Mario Mix, but like in terms of the raw playing the game, it's Theater Rhythm, no pun intended, bar none. Like that's the best one. But I mean, does it mean as much to me as a Melody of Memory? Probably not, but it's way more fun to play. So, Stardew Valley again. Yo, as soon as Haunt the Chocolatier comes out, I could put that above this bottom row right now. I have that much faith in Haunt the Chocolatier. So, think of Servants of the Mountain. The thing is about Theater Rhythm is that it's not going to go above Jak and Daxter. I think its peak for me is right here. So I don't even know if it's worth adding. Like, it would probably bump out Uncharted 3, so we'll put it in there for now. Theater Rhythm, final bar line. I don't think it means quite as much to me as Uncharted or as Calm, so there's that. New Horizons, kind of wanted to put it in, but like, I don't know, like, it was there for me in 2020. I really needed it. I was also going through a, we'll call it a relation thing at the time, ending, and the pandemic. Like, I was overall not at my happiest, and New Horizons was kind of like the Life is Strange 5 years later for me. I think we all needed New Horizons, yeah. But, like, I don't know. I never really got drawn back to it in the way that I would return to Wild World. Like, I did come back to New Horizons about a year ago. I remember talking about it on stream. But it was more so, maybe it's just because I'm old now, but it felt like the daily grind of, like, I gotta do these things so I can have the village or the island that I want, and, like, get the bugs before they go out of season. Like, Wild World, maybe because I was a kid, it was just simpler, and it was more easygoing, and I felt like I just spent more time with it. No, yeah, I appreciate the reminder there. Yeah. Maybe at some point, if I think about it harder, it could make its way on here. Alright, Sly Cooper. I don't know, guys. I liked them. I liked 1 and 2 more than 3, for sure. But I don't know if it's really cracking this list here. Sadly. I want it to. But it doesn't. I have played Twilight Princess. It's fine. I liked it well enough. Yes, Rayman 3 is here. All the way up here. I'd put Rayman 1 just based on its vibes, and basically just based on its first 2 worlds, but it's such a bullshit bastard of a game. Rayman Legends and Origins should also probably be in conversation here, but I kind of just... They were like one-night stand video games. Like, I played them. I even, like, completed Origins. I think I got Platinum on that. But then that was it. I didn't really have the urge to go back to either of those. But they were really good for what they were. Anything else that I really want to throw into consideration here? I'm not saying this is my final list either. I feel like I could still go back and rearrange things. That's kind of what The Last of Us was, too, for me. It was like a lighter, a one-night stand video game. True Colors, yeah. I like it a lot. Do I like it, or do I just like the time that I spent streaming it with all of you? Which, I know not all of you were there. In fact, most of you probably weren't, because it was 3 years ago. But it was, I think, I don't know, is True Colors that good of a game? Probably not. But it was such a good stream experience, you know? I think that's really more so where my love and my nostalgia for that game comes from, is that it was just like such a fun thing to share with everybody and to like watch it unfold with you guys. So it was 3 years ago, yeah. It was the fall of 21, believe it or not. Remember when Jed reached behind his back? Sorry. Okay, humongous games. See, that's so tough because, like, yeah, they had such an impact on me. I feel like I talked about this with Shane. Like, our humor, I feel like a lot of it is rooted in just the wit of humongous games, especially the Pajama Sams. And if it's going to be a Pajama Sam, it's going to be PJ Sam 3. but it's, you know, it's so short and small. It's very charming. But it's like, am I really going to put it above any of these things here? If anything, maybe our bottom 3. But I don't know. I don't think so. Haven't played Elden Ring, haven't played BioShock. I think a lot of these, like, these watershed moments in gaming, like, you have to be there. Like, I feel like now if I play BioShock, maybe if I play Elden Ring now, I would put it up here, but, like BioShock, Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, like, those are all games that I've either not played at all or played a tiny bit of. And they're for sure great, and they were for sure revolutionary at the time. But, like, if I played them now, would they crack this top 50? I don't know. They could. I have played Assassin's Creed 3. Don't care for it that much. Cuphead I have played. It's fun. It's not cracking the top 50 for me. Celeste has a bigger case for me, but even that, I'm not sure if I connect with it in the way that I connect with even these bottom 10 here. But it's good. Very good. Any other indie games? I guess you would just count Stardew. I don't know if you even count Minecraft as indie anymore, but it takes a lot to break into my top 50. There are some newer games, though. Like, a lot of it is founded in nostalgia, but, you know, I played Persona 4 and 3 in the past few months, and they're up here. Rebirth, going a bit older, but Remake and Theater Rhythm, Persona 5, Breath of the Wild, Undertale. Like, I know Undertale is almost 10 years old now, but these are more recent additions. But, yeah, we're going to leave it there for now. This went way longer than I expected or thought it would or wanted it to be honest. But I had fun. Thanks for letting me talk this out with you. I can finally publish this to my backlogged. Mario Kart, it's good. It's not transformative for me in the way that a lot of these other ones were. You know, I never really have the urge to go back unless some friends are like, hey, let's play Mario Kart. That's as much as it does for me. But there you have it. Definitely not Brawl. I mean, it was good at the time for really just the Subspace Emissary alone, but it's not cracking the top 50 for me nowadays. Maybe if I made this list 15 years ago, it would. But okay, before I fall down any more video game rabbit holes, we're going to end it off here. I will be back tomorrow with the Dream Drop Distance Nuzlocke, as well as Wednesday with the Dream Drop Distance Nuzlocke. The outro screen might be incorrect or outdated. I'll try to edit it accordingly, because I will not be here Thursday and likely not Saturday. So just bear that in mind. So triple stream in a row this week to make up for that. It'll probably be a makeup stream again on Monday to make up for the missed Saturday stream. So wonky schedule for, like I said, probably all summer because of just me taking trips and moving eventually. So all that, but I'll do my plugs here. I'm on Twitter. Oh, I'm not typing. I am still not. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Discord. I am on Patreon. Still working on my projects. Stalled a little bit over the past few days, but getting back to work on those. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe, be kind, be courteous. Take it easy. Have a great night. Bye.